let's take you back into the Premier League, shall we? And has Harry Kane scored his last goal for Tottenham? He reportedly wants out of Spurs this summer, with Manchester City, Manchester United and Chelsea linked with him. Tottenham legend Glenn Hoddle thinks it won't be easy for Kane to get his move this summer.
3 years is still a long time in football. It's not like he's coming to the end of his contract or he's only got a year left. So, yes, who knows? He might still stay at Tottenham because of the circumstances. I know he wants to go. We all know that now. I can't blame him if he feels that a move will get him the success that he wants. He's been very loyal to Tottenham. I don't think any fan, they'll all be gutted like myself, but I don't think they can blame him. In the back of my mind, I'm thinking there's a limited amount of teams that he could go to. I don't know if Harry wants to go abroad or not. But it's he's 28, and it's going to be slightly limited to what clubs will pay that sort of money. So it's not over and done with it as such.
So that was Glenn Hoddle speaking to Paul Coit over on talkSPORT 2 this morning. He's saying there, Gabby, it's not over and done with. Yes, Harry Kane's made it clear that he wants to leave, and he's talked about how he wants to win trophies. He wants to emulate what Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo are doing season on season. Do you think he will move this summer?
I think he will. I think, I hope for him that he will. But I think Daniel Levy will probably see it as he's 28, isn't he, in June or July. Will he see it as this is a good chance to get that? Is it 130 mil?
Yeah.
If he waits and uses the fact that he's got 3 years left of his contract, but what will you get in a year's time? Will that be 70 mil, 80 mil? So I think he'll let him leave. I think what he's done for Spurs, I just think that if he gets the right fee, he'll say to Harry Kane, okay, I'll let you go, but it's going to cost 130 million. You get me that money and then I'll let you go. I think he will.
It's interesting, Ali, because we all have seen what he said to Gary Neville last week, and he spoke about what he thinks he's worth. He actually touted a figure of 100 million, but I think we all think it'd be a bit more than that. And he said exactly what you said, Gabby. I'm not going to be worth that for the next 2 or 3 years. And we know how great a businessman Daniel Levy is. He's got to weigh up whether or not 130 million now is what they should be getting for Harry Kane and what they want for Tottenham now, or whether or not they want to keep hold of him and keep all that marketing revenue that they get out of him, being their talisman, being the England captain and all of that. And who knows what happens with the Euros. If England win, that even rockets up Harry Kane's own personal marketing value. But where do you stand on what Harry Kane has had to say? Because there'll be some people thinking, I'm not sure I'm very happy with Harry Kane speaking as publicly as he has. Although he's not done I'm leaving and I'm putting in a transfer request, it's still a bit of a come and get me plea.
Do you know something, Natalie? Harry Kane is, as you can see and listen to, not only is he a brilliant player, he's an extremely, intelligent individual, I think, right? Yeah. And he uses his interviews and uses his words very, very cleverly. I might be reading too much into it. I'm with Gabby, though. I think he'll be away. The first thing you've got to say is, and I could get accused of being a hypocrite here, because when you sign a contract, at the very least a player should do, unless there's dramatic change in circumstances, you should look to honour that contract. If you're happy with it, that's why you sign it in the first place. However, these might be special circumstances in terms of the relationship Kane has with Spurs. The time now is I think, not the only time, but in terms of Kane moving, I think it's the biggest footballing decision he'll probably have to make in his career. Does he stay at the club that he loves and attempt to continue to score goals and chase Alan Shearer's record and attempt to win things there? You've got to be realistic about it. You've got to look at it. I know the good result yesterday, outclassed in the League Cup final. You'd have to say there's going to have to be a dramatic change in personnel. They don't even have a manager yet. Yeah. So that must have a bearing in what Harry Kane's going to think.
Ali, I said this before on this show as well, that when players go away on international duty, footballers are footballers, they have banter.
Yeah.
What have you won? What have you won?
Yeah.
You know what it's like, Ali?
Yeah.
I get it off some players, what have you won? I'm like, nothing. Do you know, like, you get that banter? Harry Kane's probably thinking to himself, I'm probably the best striker I'm the best striker in the Premier League, and I'm not winning any trophies.
Well, he's winning golden boots.
Yeah, but it's the team trophies, isn't it? You know, that's amazing winning the golden boot. Yeah, it is. But you want to win the Premier League, win the FA Cup, you want to go and win the Champions League. Like you said, So for me, he's going to be dying to move, and at least he's doing it respectfully. He's not like some players done in the past where I'm not playing. He's not going to do that, is he? So I just think that for everyone involved in football, it's just fair. Just let him go and win the Premier League with a club that's going to challenge.
That's the one thing he wouldn't do, Natalie, Gabby.
No.
You can see it. He wouldn't down. I just don't think there's any way with down tools. I mean, there are some players you could mention in European world football that would down tools. Harry Kane, I don't think would be one of them. He's got too much respect for himself and indeed Spurs.
I think you're absolutely right there, Ali, about how clever he's playing this.
Yeah.
Because he's with what he's had to say this week, and he's spoken about his future before. He's quite clever psychologically, how he sort of puts it on other people. As I said, with Daniel Levy, he might be thinking, this is what Harry Kane had to say, if I could get 100 million for Harry Kane, then why not? But equally at the same time, Harry Kane has said, ultimately it's going to be down to me and how I feel and what's going to be the best for me and my career at this moment in time. I'm not sure, very briefly on this one, Ali, do you feel that's right? Does he actually have that power? Is it all going to come down to Harry Kane, or actually is it Daniel Levy?
Listen, the contract, right? We saw what happened. We spoke about it half an hour ago. We saw what happened with AJ and Tyson Fury with contracts. The letter of law will determine that Harry's under contract. Glenn Hoddle's 100% right. Unless there is a clause in the contract that says Harry Kane can leave for 100 million, whatever it may be, then Spurs will be well within their rights, to keep him.
Yeah.
However, the one thing that Daniel Levy is, he's an excellent businessman. And if he realises that asset is going to depreciate, which it will depreciate no matter how well Kane plays in the next couple of years, the value of the asset will drop. So he might think it's the best time business and to make business sense by selling him now. So in answer to the question, Harry Kane is in a very, very strong position, but he's not holding all the cards, no.
Well, Ali, he might think as well, Daniel Levy, if I keep him, I've got more chance of getting into the top 4, which will bring in how much money.
All these things to weigh up, isn't it?
You know what I mean? So you might think that, like on that note, I'm going to be selfish here. No, you're not leaving. With you, we've got a great chance of getting into the top 4 next season. Yeah. So no.
And there's the inevitable question as well. I keep saying inevitable today. That's my favourite word, I think. If you lose Harry Kane, what does that mean? Do other players think, if you're without Harry Kane, I don't want to be there?
Son might want to be there.
Lots of factors to bring into this conversation, and I'm not sure whether it will be sorted before the Euros.
talkSPORT Breakfast with Laura Woods, Monday to Wednesday mornings 6 till 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.